Alright guys, so this is GameWeek 19. Welcome to another exciting episode of Caribbean FPL Baby with your host, of course, CJ, where we keep it 100% authentic, like stew mixed in with a little gravy. So some really groovy and interesting topics for you today, and without further ado, let's get into it, baby. Alright guys, so you could go through the entire article if you please on the Fantasy Premier League website, or you could pause the video and go through that article, but I'm just going to read you the first paragraph. It says here, it was confirmed at the Premier League club meeting today that while recognizing a number of clubs are experiencing COVID-19 outbreaks and challenges, it is the league's collective intention to continue the current fixture schedule where safely possible. So there you have it. We did make a video on Monday talking about possible games that could get postponed. And the league had a different view of it, and we can't really complain as FPL lovers. We love our game of football. So basically what they told these clubs is like, if you're in the mud, you might as well play with the worms. No disrespect to Leeds or Chelsea fans. But yeah, guys, so all the matches scheduled for Boxing Day and the 27th, that one match on the 27th, is scheduled to continue. But I wouldn't make any sudden decisions, as yet, or any sudden transfers, because, based on the last 2 or 3 game weeks, that a fixture could just get postponed, like probably 2 hours, 3 hours before the game starts. So I do plan to wait, my skin is itching me actually to make a change. Every day I'm making this change in my team, but I'm just not confirming it. However, they did say that, these fixtures are scheduled to continue, so I'm hoping I'll be able to make a change in the last hour or 2 before the deadline. It doesn't affect the outcome of my team selection, but let's see what happens. So about that change I've been speaking about that my skin's been itching me to make, it's between Bernardo and Rafinha. First we're going to look at Rafinha. And I don't think I'm going to be removing him in my team. He is one of my favorite players when it comes down to FPL. He has been on my team from the beginning. He scored in the last game. He's gotten 4 returns in the last 5. So I don't think he's going to be an option when it comes to getting a player out of my team to make room for my transfer in. So yeah, next player we're going to look at is Bernardo. Now, in the case of Bernardo, whenever Kevin De Bruyne is on the field, I realize that Bernardo and Gundogan usually plays more of a defensive role rather than attacking or defensive position. So while he has gotten 4 in the last 5, he's kind of blanked in the last 2 games, getting 2 points in a 4-0 defeat, and also that 2 points, or was it 1 point in that 7-0 defeat so against Leeds. So definitely not looking at Rafinha, but definitely Bernardo could be on the chopping block this week. So let's just see how we're going to do if we have to remove Bernardo. So I'm looking at bringing an Arsenal player against Norwich. The first option, I'm just looking right past Saka and Smith Rowe. The first option would be Odegaard. So while Odegaard has been in blazing form, and we could just check out his stats right now, he's gotten also 4 returns in the last 5, and he seems to be the hype of the town. So let's just look at it right now. Alright, so that is 4 returns in the last 5. He's been in good form, as we could see here. He is not the player that I'm really looking forward to right now, but it's definitely an option if you're looking at a cheap way into the Arsenal midfield. And he really controls things, but I prefer Martinelli. I always have a thing when it comes to Brazilian players, and I think Martinelli is the guy. I could have gotten him in last week, but because of the cancellation I didn't. But yeah, Martinelli is definitely the player to go to. He's gotten 5 in the last 5 games, and he got 2 returns in the last game. So it's definitely interesting me right now when it comes to players. So as you can see, Martinelli is only selected by 4.8% of managers currently. And yeah, during the midweek game against Sunderland, he only played in the final 15 minutes, so he got some rest, which is a very good sign that he's going to be starting over the weekend. And he's playing against the worst team, arguably the worst team in the Premier League right now. The next game, that's against Norwich. So call me crazy, but I'm even considering Martinelli as my captain. I'm trying to stray away from Salah, although I know that Salah is going to bang some goals against Leeds. Leeds have so many injuries, they actually had to start with a 15-year-old in the last game. But Martinelli is possibly going to be my captain this weekend, or Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alright, so I did speak about Martinelli even before he became a household name. Another player I think that is flying under the radar right now is Edward Nketiah. While he's only played in aggregate 45 minutes in the last 5 games, just hear me out. He did score a hat-trick against Sunderland, but with all that said, he is a class striker. He's very young right now, and scoring a hat-trick in the last game, I'm pretty sure he's going to get maybe at least 20 minutes to prove himself. So there's a good chance that we could be seeing at least 1 goal for Edward Nketiah. If anyone is just thinking of getting a 1-week punt, I think this is the way that you should go. And he's definitely a player that's on my watch list right now. Don't call me crazy, but I think definitely we could expect at least 1 return from Edward Nketiah this weekend coming. Of course, it's against Norwich, so yeah. And if you look at the percentage right now, it's only owned by 0.2% of FPL players, so it could be a real differential in the coming weeks for Arsenal, a very informed Arsenal side right now. And next we're going to look at a player that everyone's talking about, but I'm not sure he's going to be a right fit for the future in the long run. Alright, so right now everyone's talking about bringing in Constantino Tsimikas into their team against Leeds and Leicester. I'm staying away from that move. I mean, if you're doing a free hit and you want to free up some funds to get in the player, and maybe you want a cheap player that could feature and maybe even get you a clean sheet, then you could bring in Tsimikas. He is not a terrible player. However, he's only deputizing for Robertson right now. Robertson is only expected to miss 2 of these Premier League games. It was a 3-match ban, but he already served 1 in the midweek game against Leicester. So against Leeds, let's admit it, Virgil van Dijk is kind of the backbone of the Liverpool defense. So I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep a clean sheet. Alright guys, so that's it for today. If you want to go for Tsimikas, do it like a champ, but just remember that champs get knocked out too. So yeah, that's it for me today guys. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Hope you like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Thank you for stopping by, Caribbean Baby. Looking forward also to the Cup game this weekend. My opponent looks a little bit like a challenge, but I'm not worried. I already showed you guys the transfer that I'm planning to do. Most likely it's going to be Bernardo Silva out, Martinelli in, and Martinelli could be getting the armband. I could change it. I could play it safe and just go with Salah, but I have been getting lucky. Well, I think it's more a little bit of strategy, captaining alternatives to Salah, just to make it a little more interesting. Because as you know, guys, over 50% they're just gonna run for Salah. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and Caribbean Baby, we're out. Alright guys, so this is exactly what I was talking about. I was just about to upload the video. It's probably 6 a.m. in my time. I've been up doing this video since about 2 a.m. So it took me 4 hours. I'm taking care of my editing and everything. But back to the main topic here, we could see it, games just getting cancelled, just thrown out, So Wolves versus Watford is going to be cancelled. And more importantly, Liverpool versus Leeds United is going to get cancelled. So that's going to change my plans up a little bit, but I'm excited because then, people are kind of forced not to go with Salah. So it's going to be a very interesting week. Most likely I'm going to be removing yeah, most likely I'm going to be removing Rafinha in my team to make way for Martinelli with this news right now. But I'm so excited right now because people don't get the easy way out of captaining Salah. Let's go, game week 19.
Hold me close, don't let me go. While we do this nice and slow. After tonight, take me home with you. I'll show you what I wanna do. Oh, yeah, yeah, what I wanna do.